We love to see our favorite characters push the boundaries of their comfort and try new things. It's always refreshing to see someone portray different roles, and the appeal increases if the someone in question is as attractive and talented as everyone's favorite historical warrior, Mr. Jamie Fraser. You heard it right, folks. It looks like Sam Heughan is all set to expand his horizons and enter a brand new world in a brand new role. For starters, are we going to see brand new shades of Jamie Fraser? If you're a fan of prehistoric dramas or period films, you're already pretty much familiar with the heartthrob of the 16th century, James Fraser. He's the man of our dream. You know, the one guy who we fantasize about, riding his horse in an open field, his locks flying and a sword hanging on his thigh. The perfect mixture of a lover and a warrior. Okay, we may be projecting a little, and to be fair, we're getting a little carried away, so let's come back to the topic at hand. The man behind the man of our dreams, Sam Heughan, is all set to enter a brand new world. But in this world, we won't see castles or horses or open fields. We might not even see him in his conventional romantic role. This world is a little darker than just casual family drama. This one has blood and a lot of it. It also has dead people. Dead people come back to life, and people presumed dead but apparently alive. In short, there's a lot of death. And in the midst of all of this, our hero struggles to survive. If you haven't guessed it yet, we'll make your job easier for you. Ewan is all set to potentially star in a movie adaptation of Sony's best-selling video game, Days Gone. Coming next, what we know so far. Whoa. A video game to real-life movie adaptation. Those are always the most lit movies out there. Let's take Tom Holland's recent Uncharted, which managed to set the silver screen on fire and earn about $400 million worldwide. Yikes! After that success rate, Sony obviously has the right idea in mind and is willing to take the same risk with another very successful video game of theirs. And the most exciting part is the fact that they've quite literally managed to somehow rope in Ewan as the lead. Again, all of this is still in talks, but if the movie ends up going through, we literally lose it at the prospect of our period drama warrior becoming a video game hero. That's a huge leap, even for someone who is used to riding around on horses. But if this information hasn't gotten you riled up, wait till we tell you what's next in store. The movie doesn't only have a stellar lead, but apparently even the screenplay is being penned by an Oscar-winning screenwriter, Sheldon. This man is literally the reason why we got to experience X-Men World Class. Imagine what he can bring to the table with Days Gone. Also, apparently, it's literally not even the first time they're working together. Apparently, the two have already teamed up for this other grand project that they worked on, a narrative about Mount Everest called, well, Everest. But unfortunately, the movie got shelved and still hasn't been in production for a while. But if fate is set to bring these two together, then who are we to complain, right? Next up, let's get to know more about Days Gone. If you're not an avid gamer or not a huge fan of video games, you're probably not very familiar with the game itself, despite its popularity. So if you're one of those people, no judgment, okay? Maybe slight judgment. We've got you covered, especially since this is a safe space for all viewers, even the ones who refuse to learn how to have fun. We're kidding. Days Gone is a video game that triggers the survival instinct in all of us. It's a narrative about a post-apocalyptic world which is literally taken over by zombies called freakers. And in the middle of this chaos, and while the whole world falls apart, our hero is on a quest for love. See? Love does have the power to save the world and to make us want to save ourselves. Okay, we may be getting a little too mushy. The game is a little more aggressive than just being a romance plot, but at the heart of the game is the essential ingredient, which is love, of course. For more context, our hero, whose name is Deacon, is fighting a twofold battle. The first one is against zombies who want to eat his anxiety-riddled brain, and the second one is, well, against his anxiety-riddled brain. His only motivating factor is the chance that his wife, Sarah, who is presumed dead, may somehow still be alive. See, we told you it's actually a love story, but aren't all stories inherently just love stories? On a final note, how did Ewan bag the role? Okay, so if you're wondering how someone might see this 16th century warrior and think to themselves that, he looked really good blowing out some zombies' brains, that's a very valid question to have. We're wondering the same. How did Ewan go from Fraser to Deacon remains a mystery. When being cast as Fraser, the man simply blew everyone's minds in his audition, but apparently this role is a tad bit different. The writers already had him in mind when they decided that they wanted to create a movie adaptation of the video game. It's just one of those events you know when you're writing a story and a face just seems to fit the role. Now, we don't know how accurate this evaluation is and whether or not Ewan would be able to live up to the hype, but given the man's track record, we wouldn't be surprised if he blows our minds. All we can say is that we really hope this dream turns into reality for all our sakes and for his. Other news. First of all, did Ewan take over social media? It's awfully hard not to be popular when you are talented sweet, attractive, and non-problematic. Fortunately for us, we have just the right man who fits the criteria, and perhaps this is why we can't help but fangirl or fanboy, no judgment, over him. That's right, folks, you guessed it. We're talking about the warrior of our hearts, Jamie Fraser. We mean Sam Heughan. Sorry, we're so immersed in his character that we often forget to separate the two, but can you really blame us? Recently, this man hit a whopping 3.8 million followers on his social media account. See, looking good does pay off, but hey, this man is definitely more than just a pretty face, and his fans know it too. That's why we just can't get enough. But whatever his magic is, he's literally the most influential cast member of the show, even more so than the leading lady. Sorry, Balfe, but Ewan wins this one. Apparently, this following gives him the ability to earn £8,676 per sponsored post on the social media platform. He can be milking money just by simply existing, and isn't that the dream? It couldn't be us, folks, but good for him. Moving forward, will we have to wait longer for Spidey? Listen, before we get into breaking this very, very sad news, let's be clear about one thing. Some things are worth waiting for, and Spidey is definitely the kind of love that we'd be willing to wait 1,000 years for more. Even still, at times it can get kind of frustrating to remain patient and understanding, but what choice do we really have, right? So we think we should just get this over with and break it to you. Sony had a disastrous year in terms of its box office performance with its recent release Morbius, and this slight hiccup has caused them to want to delay the release of 2 of its upcoming Spider-Man movies. We guess that they just don't want to rush the process, and hence they've recently announced that 2 of the spin-offs that were supposed to be released soon would now come out a little later. The first is Kraven the Hunter, which was supposed to come out early in 2023 but will now be released in October, and the second is Madam Web, which is pushed as far as 2024. See, now that's a lot of waiting, and as sad as it sounds, we hope the movies are worth the wait. Lastly, 9 years of clarity. Ever since Outlander came out almost a decade ago, fans have given their heart to the lead pair. The two have an amazing chemistry and are able to bring our favorite characters to life. Literally, can you all picture anyone else playing Jamie and Claire as well as they do? We can't either. And this month marked the 9-year anniversary of when the directors first found their leading lady in the form of Balfe. This woman has dedicated almost a decade of her life to entertaining us. It's an occasion to celebrate, don't you think? Her co-star seems to think so, and that's why he penned down a congratulatory tribute for her on his social media. How very sweet. Seems like these two get along off-screen as well as on-screen. Anyway, that's all for today, folks. How do you feel about Heughan's recent adventures? Let us know in the comments below. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next one.